Tech Unboxed with BBD.
Welcome to a new Tech Unboxed. I'm your host, Koen, and today I'm with Akshay. Can you first of all explain who you are and what you do?
Thanks, Koen. Uh, so first of all, my name is Akshay. I am a part of BBD BBD Software Services, and I'm working here as an executive for testing services. I'm basically leading the testing business of BBD, and I'm also equally involved in variety of projects that BBD has. First of all, we are a service-based company, so we have variety of clients, which is spread across, especially in South Africa, UK, and other regions. So that's me.
Oh, cool. And I'm very delighted that today we're going to have a conversation about quality assurance and testing. And if I'm not mistaken, there's been a dramatic shift in the latest years. So what is happening in this world?
So dramatic shift is related to the tool sets that is currently being consumed by each of the companies. So initially, when I started my career, I still remember that we had a very limited amount of tool sets available for automation. So we have a giant companies who has developed this automation test suites and that we used to use. But I would say it was a role wherein you have a specific manual testers and automation testers which are working for a specific kind of backlog. Nowadays, it has seen that a QA engineer is working for manual automation, performance testing, and a lot of other things. So I would say that the shift is more on the tool side, wherein the tools have versatilely started adopting the system, and now the tools are really performing in an expected way that it has to be. Like we used to say that, okay, there's this capability which is missing in this X tool, but now it has covered most of the things because now the competition is also grown in that particular way. So I would say shift is there in the tool, and that is the reason we say that nowadays there is a AI in test automation, and that is something which is the new one.
Is this then the truly shift into automated testing?
Yes, it is actually, I would say, a kind of a cutting edge shift into automation testing, wherein like I would not name one of the tool. There are many actually, which can easily generate a test automation on the basis of what you have implemented. And record playback is always one of the thing which has traditionally evolved for the AI, but nowadays you can just you can just inject your code and it generates the unit test. So yeah, a lot of new tools are evolving right now.
And what are some practical steps if you as a company or me as a company would like to get into testing, and when should I start testing?
So earlier days, test test cycles were not that much followed, but nowadays, since we follow the SDLC, it is very important that you should start essentially early in your stage. So I would say that the moment you start documenting your requirements and gathering requirements, having socialization with the client, at the same time you should start with testing. So in a probably I would say my experience is when I started my career, I was getting involved in testing activities when something is really fruitfully designed or developed. But later on, I have seen since the agile world has started, so I've seen that I am being involved from the day one when the documentation starts. So I can start raising my question from the day one, and probably the moment we start developing one of the layer, for example, say like REST API is ready for the system, but UI is not ready. So tester doesn't need to hold back. Tester can start testing from that day on REST API itself. Start writing test cases on it and start developing probably test automation as well if it is stable. So yeah, you have to start early. Nowadays it is agile, so there is no waiting period. There is nothing like tester is on waiting period to get the requirements properly sorted. You can start from day one.
And I guess the world has changed. I agree. There's much more agile for a while, but I think a lot of things still boil back to some crucial things, which is around performance testing. And well, especially if you look at scale ups, I think that's usually where it happens. If you're like a very early startup, you don't really
Exactly.
look at that much. It's only when you start scaling. So how are you looking at this, and how is BBD looking at this?
So I'll share a recent experience actually, the case study that we have recently grabbed. So we had this one of the e-commerce customer came at us saying that can you do a health check on our system because we are developing this e-commerce platform for specifically for South Africa region. And we have done our health check on cloud side and we gave them this kind of things which has to be there, but which is not there. A kind of prescribed health report, you can say. And they said that okay, we really appreciate that you have taken a chance to look at our system. And they said that can we perform a performance testing activity on our systems wherein we will understand what can happen if our user load uh, goes to a specific traffic limit. So we started initially performing regional load testing on their application, wherein we have derived a specific kind of user load, wherein we define that okay, this amount of user load is something which is prescribed. If we go above that, the load balancers start shooting. The load balancer will be mapped to a blue deployment or green deployment, and that's how it works. So then we told them that this is the plan wherein if you want to really go with that kind of traffic, you need to have two kind of deployment wherein if something goes wrong, the other deployment is up. They came back to us again 1 year later. They said that now we are launching our systems in UK. So we might get some traffic attracted from UK. So how do we deal with this situation? Can you give us some kind of load, probably from the IPs which are especially hosted in UK? So we said that yeah, there are tool sets which we have wherein we can probably simulate some kind of load regionally. And then we started a kind of regional load testing again. So performance also have variety of categories like load testing, then there is a stress testing, then going beyond is kind of, you can say, endurance testing. So we did all this and now the systems are working perfectly fine. They said that probably we launching it to North America next year, and we may reach to you again because we need some kind of solution on regional testing, regional load testing. So that is something which recently we have experienced. So yeah, performance is very essential and has to be tested if you're having a direct online traffic, if you're B2B or B2C as well. So yeah.
Yeah, what strikes me about your example is that DevOps and continuous testing, they obviously go hand in hand. And the fact that you say that the company is coming to you. So would you mind sharing a bit of that magic sauce? What are the best practices that BBD provides to other companies to help them in this journey?
So BBD is, as I told you, it is a service-based company. Uh, we are a pretty much flat hierarchy company. We don't have any kind of positional and other things. So we have a kind of freedom-oriented atmosphere wherein people can explore the new tools or new technologies and that kind of thing. At BBD, we have automation accelerators wherein we have different kinds of frameworks which are already preserved and kind of customized the way the client wants. So we have this accelerators wherein we don't need to, learn something, grab something, customize something. We have already things which we have baseline or we have used somewhere. So something that we have already experienced, we generally refer it to the client. Otherwise, we don't refer any other tool which is completely new in the technology because we have a trust on those tools and that's something we use. Same way, we also have a stack which is available for DevOps side, wherein we have some in-house developed things which we generally prescribe. So generally, when a customer is reaching to us saying that okay, we need to perform a health check on our system, that are we actually multi-tenant or are we actually really ready to have this much of traffic? So at the same time, we also analyze and we tell them that this is something which needs to be there. So in nowadays architecture, we have generally microservices based architecture wherein we have variety of layers. Like UI is one of the layer. Then you have REST services. Then you also have a database. You may have some third party integration because since we say we are online, it means you're somewhere revenue earning. So you also have payment gateways. So you also
Mhm.
need to test that. And you also need to make sure that the payment gateway is not down. Otherwise, your business is down because essentially it is affecting your order limits and everything. So I feel that the magic sauce is something that BBD use something which they have really experienced it truly on other projects.
Mhm.
And we have a R&D team within BBD wherein each COE is taken care. Like testing is one of the COE, then DevOps is one of the COE. So they internally conclave. They generally try different kinds of mechanism first, and then only they prescribe. So we will surely not prescribe something which is completely new in the industry and we have never used. So whatever we have used, we have
Road test.
bootstrap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
road tested.
yeah. So generally, we will prescribe you something which is completely bootstrapped within BBD. So if you see that even in our test frameworks also, it is not purely. So we say it is Selenium based, but Selenium is one of the tool. So we say that it is Selenium based, but then it is customized in a way that we should use. We also have sector specific test automation tools because
Mhm.
generally in banking, financial sectors, you need to follow certain guidelines. You need to follow certain
Mhm.
aspect of
Mhm.
vulnerabilities and other assessments. Otherwise, your repo cannot be approved for test automation. So we follow that kind of policies as well, wherein we don't use any kind of third party packages or Docker images, which will cause some trouble to our client. So secret sauces, I would say, we have tried and tested everything, and then only we will tell this to our client. So there's some kind of trust and probably a kind of a long-term relation that we would like to inculcate over here. So we don't want anything, something new which is coming in and then might have to spend some more time on that. So that is something is magic sauce, I would say.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Now, you mentioned microservices. You
Yeah.
also mentioned accelerators. It all
Yeah.
sounds a little bit technical, but in my opinion, a QA and testing also has to do with human resource. So
Mm.
how do you handle that? And what are the latest things that are happening on that front?
So since we mentioned about accelerators, so uh, I'll tell you in a layman's approach, accelerators are nothing but a homegrown test frameworks or homegrown, I would say, software packages which helps
Mhm.
us to, utilize those and deliver the results. So that's kind of accelerators that I was talking about. And in terms of human resource, then I would say that so we have variety of resources internally available right now with the category saying that junior, intermediate, senior kind of thing. Although we
Yeah,
have a flat hierarchy, but it is on the basis of the level of experience and the skill set that they have. So
makes a
generally,
lot of sense.
we at BBD generally have a kind of dynamic resources. We don't deal with pure manual testers or pure automation testers. Uh, so we have resources which are performing both the activities, manual and automation, as well as most of our testers are also having one of the non-functional testing also, which is they also have a side of doing performance testing or maybe penetration testing or something which is apart from their manual and automation. So generally, when we place a candidate, the candidate has to be adaptable to all the other things, which is
Mhm. Mhm.
functional testing and non-functional. So generally, there are two types in testing. One is functional, other one is non-functional. Functional is your manual testing, automation, everything is functional, or even you can say whatever you are doing as a REST API testing, everything is functional. But when you touch the aspect of non-functionality, say like security testing, or you say load testing, performance, these are non-functional. So we generally hire on the basis of functional plus one non-functional, which is a cherry on top, I would say.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
generally, I'm not comparing it with anyone, but generally you don't get this type of talent. And we also have internally hired certain people who has a learning capacity wherein they are interested to explore and they have reached themselves to that particular level. So that's the kind of human resource we have. Also, we have certain programs internally going on within BBD
Mhm.
wherein
Mhm.
we have kind of mentorship program wherein if I have a knowledge of something, then I will easily percolate this to other person. So
Hmm.
we have journeys actually in BBD wherein people can subscribe for a specific journey. So currently also I'm actually mentoring three people for one of the automation journey wherein they would like to learn, and I'm gonna give them some kind of assignment and then they will improvise themselves to that level.
Yeah.
And then after improvisation, I will also help them to get the project, which is wherein they can like implement that on the real time basis.
Hmm.
So
What
yeah,
I'm always surprised, and happily surprised, is about the human centric level of BBD as a company. And I came across the Return to Work program.
yeah,
Would you mind sharing a little bit about that as well?
definitely. So return to work program actually started uh, while we all are facing a COVID time. Actually, it was a really tough time, and we
All of
realized
us.
that yeah, it is really tough time, and we realized that it has kind of uh, affected our recruitment because
Hmm.
we had opportunities at that time, but we were not getting a right set of candidates from the industry because people are not available in the same city where you're actually interviewing, as well as most of the world was offline. So kind of you sitting at home and you're giving the interview. So we thought that let's just try to run one program wherein we can probably offer some opportunities
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
to the industry people. Then we realized that so it is kind of my personal story, I would say.
Hmm.
So wherein
I'm asking the question
actually
to the right person.
yeah, actually, so I'm the one actually who advised this. So I have a sister actually, and she got married a couple of years previously than COVID. Then she is relocated to US, and then she was saying that now my kid is grown, and I would like to look for like I'm looking for an opportunity. But she said that since everywhere she is going for interviews, everybody is saying that okay, you have a gap and we can't offer you anything because you're not in touch with technology. So you're outdated kind of thing. So she started feeling this negativity, and we
Hmm.
just had a call, and I got to know that this is the kind of story. So I thought that it is not only her actually, there are so many there actually. So this program is specialized for the women in industry actually, those who want to return to work. So especially the one who has a gap in career or a gap in probably I would say she was working but she left the country, or probably somehow she left the job because of some personal responsibilities and she would like to return back. So what we do
Uh-huh.
is we at BBD we offer them a training course which is free of cost. You can get yourself involved. It is a self-learning training course wherein you have a
Hmm.
mentor allocated from BBD, and either it will be me or someone else. So we have around 8 to 10 mentors at BBD who will have a twice a week call with you and guide you what you need to learn. There is a specialized material for them which they need to follow. Once they follow on each step, there is a interview, there is a assessment, there is a online test, everything happens. And if you clear everything and if you came across that particular last level, wherein we take mock interviews and we try to see how much knowledge you have grabbed, and on the basis of that we will hire you. That's the kind of way. So
Wow.
we are offering this opportunity to the women, those who really want to come back to the industry again, and they might have a kind of previous background of 2 years of experience or 4 years of experience. So our minimum criteria is 2 years plus experience, and the gap
Hmm.
has to be 2 to 4 years, not more than that. uh, but yeah, we have around recruited, you can say, 25 candidates as of now, and it is really good that the candidate is giving their 100%. I would say 100% is really really bad, but they're giving 1000%, I would say, because they would like to, yeah, they would like to come back to the industry, and they would like to learn the new tools, because they always get to know a prompt from the industry that you're outdated, it's been long
Hmm.
time, you are not in touch with technology. So I feel that uh, they have a potential, and BBD has identified that potential, and we offering them this kind of testing roles. And yeah, we have around 25 candidates, and BBD is also planning
Excellent.
to run this
Excellent.
for other technologies like or other areas, I would say, like business analyst, development, or maybe DevOps as well. because people have background, but then somehow they left the opportunity, or maybe they got laid off and kind of. So
Mhm.
that's the kind of way. Yeah, that's return to work.
Akshay, so many thanks for sharing this passion about your personal project and the effect that you had on already 25 people, because it's more than just giving a job. But also thank you very much for sharing your passion about quality assurance and testing. Thank you very much also to the audience, and please stay tuned for more Text Unboxed with BBD.